Oh, whoa. What? Oh my God, guys. Look at this, guys. This is so cool, man. I can't tell you how much I enjoy seeing stuff like this. This is really sweet, man.
Well, there goes nothing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Kenshi Project Genesis, where we explore the completely reworked world of Kenshi in the Project Genesis Overhaul mod. It's super awesome. We're going to restore Ruka's honor, and we're going to destroy the Holding Nation once and for all. Thank you all so much for the continued support of the series. I'm absolutely blown away, really, by how the first episode went. It was so amazing. And I really, I can't even express how much I appreciate it. And I will try during this episode. You'll see. And if you're new to the channel and you're a fan of awesome sauce, feel free to subscribe for your daily dose, because we love ourselves some awesome sauce here. Now, Project Genesis, so cool. I'm super stoked so far. We're running extremely slow right now because I didn't want to have it on fast speed during the intro. And what are we doing? Okay, the polls are in, right? I got all the results from everybody's stories. Now, we're going to continue to explore these stories. I will continue to probe you guys with questions, and I will continue to get clarifications on how your characters tie in, and I really encourage you guys to do that with each other too. Now, why? Okay. Here's how it works. Now, I don't know if I clarified this as much as I could have or should have. Hindsight's 2020 and all that. But what I loved, guys, what gave me so much energy, and it really helped the success of the first video, was when you guys were telling your stories, right? Not only did you tell a story, people liked your videos. I was hearting the ones that I really loved, and which I think was all of them. Like, I don't actually remember not hearting any of them because they were all so amazing. Seriously, kudos, guys. You guys are incredible. Your imaginations were just going nuts, and I can't even thank you enough. So it turns out that when you, by the way, we're on our way to the hub. We're just kind of going slowly because I wanted to kind of walk through this as I'm, and you guys can fast forward through this if you want to. Like, you'll know when Ruka stops running slowly that we've gotten where we are, because we need to work on our strength training, and that's what I'm doing anyway. So the YouTube search algorithm, right, when you guys are essentially chatting with each other and interacting with each other in the comments, and I'm interacting with you and you're interacting with me, that actually helps the video. And the video that we put out, the first one, right, did 1,000% better, or in other words, 100 times better than my average, right? It absolutely destroyed it. Now, I'm sure some of it is thanks to the Genesis mod, right? And the attention that people are, how excited people are to look at it. But a huge part, and probably the most of it, was that you guys were interacting with each other. I love seeing the cash flow like that. It's cool. It's nice to know that NPCs are very active here. And so I thank you everyone who was chiming in the comments. I loved how positive you guys were with each other. Keep it up. It's super inspiring for me to see that. I love it. I loved seeing you guys compliment each other on ideas, throw ideas at each other, and that's really like when it came. And I'm not telling you yet who I picked for the character. You'll see when we find them. However, the person that won, the reason they won is because they were by far the most active in the comments. Not only did they get the most likes from other people, they also gave more likes than anyone by a long shot. I went through and counted all the likes and all the comments, and just, I mean, I can't tell who likes other people's stuff, but I can tell who comments on other people's stuff, which in turn, those comments get likes, right? And that's really what drove the traffic to the video. Like I said, 1,000% better than my normal, guys, because of you guys. You guys are what did that, not me. I mean, I simply pulled ideas out of you guys after your initial idea, right? I just asked you for your creativity. You gave it to me. You blessed me with your creativity, and you guys made this video a success, the last video, and you will do that for this video too. I have no doubt. So I would encourage all of you to go back and check out the other videos that other people have submitted, and essentially thumbs up the stuff that you love. Ask for further clarification on how can we tie the character in, give suggestions, be positive, give each other the love that you all deserve, and that is exactly what made that last video so successful. So I encourage you to continue to do that, especially on the first video of the series, because that drives traffic into the series, and then if people enjoy the series and they want to continue to watch, they will do that. And I thoroughly encourage you to continue to chat with each other and give each other love throughout the series as much as you want to. So thank you all so much for that. I really appreciate it. So right now, essentially, all I'm going to do now that that long rant is over, and I just want to say I love you guys, man. So cool that you guys were so interactive. I really appreciate it, and it totally brightened my day. It's amazing how high I felt just reading through all your stories and sifting through them. So what I'm doing right now, essentially, most of you who play Kenshi are going to be familiar with this, and I don't do this a lot, but because we kind of got to the point where Ruka had a weapon that was heavy, and it is a plank, so it will train her dex as well, which is nice because it's got 0.52 cutting damage, so it will also train her dex. We don't need to worry about getting a dex-only weapon. It would train faster. It would train her dex faster if she had a better weapon that had more dex on it, like this one. Well, this one's only got 0.65 anyway, so it's not a whole lot more. So she will be slow with this for a while. Once her strength gets to about 24, she will be swinging this thing pretty quickly because once you have a strength that's about 2 times as much as the weight of the weapon, it doesn't really... You don't swing slowly as a result of your strength anymore. Now, you will swing a little bit slower because of your dex, but her dex will go up as it needs to because it's got cutting damage on it. That's fine. So, where was I going with that? Oh, we're strength training, right? Because her weight to be at sort of like even is 37. So what I'm going to do is run around and do strength training for a little bit, and then we'll get back to sort of exploring this world. I just want her to be at 37 strength, so she's kind of at even when she's carrying her gear. And to just sort of further that, I don't think I really finished my explanation. So for any of you who are new to Kenshi, you can mouse over your encumbrance and it'll show you your strength XP. You can also go down here and look at your XP, right? Now, as I'm walking around, my athletics XP, because I'm so encumbered, will only be 32%, right? It's got a minus 67% penalty due to encumbrance. And so if I tell, Ruka to run way over here, you can see, though, that I'm getting a 67% XP. Sorry, because I'm at 67% encumbrance, I'm getting a 45% encumbrance, but I'm also, so only 22% of that bonus is coming from encumbrance. However, because I'm carrying someone on my shoulder, in this case, Vamrix, I'm getting a 200% XP bonus, right? So I'm getting a multiple of times 2 on top of the multiple that I'm or the base XP rate of 22%, and that's the net result of that is a 44% XP rate. Now it caps out at 50, right? So what I could do is go find some more weight. I could go find some iron and load myself up on iron. And I normally won't mine early game because I'm not a big fan of mining. I realize it's an integral piece of the game, but I don't normally do it. But I'm gonna do it in this case because I want to get a little bit of extra weight. Now, what I can do also is just sort of put extra weapons, and then like if I take this backpack. I should have shown you that as I was doing it, but you can see now the encumbrance is only 58%. If I take the backpack off, and the reason for that, guys, for any of you who don't know, is because this backpack offers, if I mouse over it, you can see it offers a 60% encumbrance reduction. And that's fine, but if you want, you can fill it up with stuff, and then when you take it off, if you put it just in your inventory, it's like the frame of the pack is no longer supporting the encumbrance. And then the encumbrance went up to 66% because the weight or the mass that's in the backpack is no longer being affected by that encumbrance reduction. And so what I'm going to do is essentially just go ahead and mine here for a little while. And if I click on Ruka, we can see that her laboring skill is what's being applied. As that goes up, she's going to mine a little faster. That's why I have it on ×3. Now I'll need to go get food on her periodically. And so I'm just going to do this one time. I won't do it on any other characters because we've already kind of got Ruka with the gear. And I wanted to demonstrate this, right? I do like to demonstrate techniques just in case there's any new players who don't understand Kenshi, because it's a very in-depth game and it's very complex and hard to understand when you're a new player. And so for now, we're going to get enough iron to get Ruka to 71% encumbrance. Once you're sort of on the teeter point between 70 and 71 and you have someone on your shoulder, you're going to get an encumbrance penalty, or you're going to get a strength XP bonus of 50%, which is the cap. And once we're there, and we're going to carry around a little bit of extra weight just so that when she levels up, because every time you level up in your strength, you get one more weight. So I think right now Let's take a look at her inventory. She's at 32, so we need to level up 5 times essentially. So we're gonna need 5 more weight than whatever brings her to. Well, actually, that's not true. We're gonna need a lot more than that, but we'll bring a bunch of extra iron in her backpack, and we'll start dumping it out to give her more weight essentially. So once I've kind of got her full up and run around and XP'd a little bit, I'll bring you back and kind of show you. But you can see, like, as we're mining this, you know, as this green bar fills up, it's going to essentially go all the way to the end, and then we're going to have some iron that we can grab on Ruka. And so if I go ahead and do this, we can see up here in the top of the total weight listed here, as I sort of add this, right, it's going to add weight, and then it's also going to add encumbrance. Right now she's at 69%. So if I go over here and I grab another one, and then I click back on Ruka, now she's at 72%, and what you can see here is that she's getting 50% XP bonus now. So now I can just walk around until she's basically not at 72%, and what that's going to do is give her more XP. And just to demonstrate how fast you get XP while you're doing this, I'm going to go to the character screen, and I'm going to mouse over strength. And you can see, boom, see it's jumping, like 61, 66, like it's just jumping, right? It's going up so fast that it's kind of jumping in big increments. And then eventually, now, okay, so let's bring this up, right? She's at 114 out of 32. Once this strength actually goes up to 18, which it just did, now I can go back to her inventory, and now her encumbrance limit, or her sort of, I don't know if you want to call it a soft cap, where she doesn't get an encumbrance penalty, went up to 33 instead of 32. So every time your strength goes up by 1, you will get an additional point in your sort of like soft cap of encumbrance, where you don't take a penalty to athletics and you don't get a strength XP bonus. It doesn't make you go slower at the cost, or and give you the ability to gain strength essentially. Now there is sort of a gap between the two, which I think is personally kind of lame, because you don't get an encumbrance bonus until you get up to a certain amount over, and you've already slowed down at that point. So you can start to take a penalty to your athletics XP before you start getting any bonus to your strength. And I really wish they would change that, because I think the moment you take an athletics penalty, you should start getting a strength XP. Just me. Anyway, essentially what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run around with her until we get up to 37. It's going to go pretty quick, but I'm not going to make you guys watch it. I just want to demonstrate how you do it. And then effectively, like you can see, she's at 71% now. Once she goes to where she's not at 71 anymore, this will eventually go to 49%. When that happens, that's when I'm going to go grab another ore, and I'm going to start walking around with her again. And it's a little bit below 70, right? The UI actually rounds to the nearest seat. It just went down to 49%. It's still 70%, but what it is probably it went down below 70.5 enough that it started, that whatever it uses to calculate the strength XP bonus is no longer being applied. So it's no longer rounding. And so then we'll just go back and grab another piece of ore. And once we have that, we can essentially go, we'll notice that her XP bonus now went to 50%, because she's now at 73% encumbrance. So it'll continue to go down, and then we'll continue to have to get more ore. And this is a really boring, tedious process that I don't really like to do in the game. I like to train strength naturally through the use of heavy weapons, or weapons that have blunt damage on them, or that are, heavier than your strength. But early game, that's a little harder to do because everyone moves so slowly. And we need to go somewhere very dangerous today, and we need to be able to run fast in order to do that. All right, and one of the side effects, of course, of running around with really, really heavy stuff on your back is that you get hungry. And I wanted to see if I could show you that here, the hunger rate. It was showing up over, here we go, 188%. So essentially, like, as she's running around carrying something very heavy, like the racial XP, obviously, or the racial hunger rate will take into effect, which is a 25% increase over the normal. And then she's also using more because she's encumbered. So you multiply 1.25 times 1.51, and your result essentially will give you the overall hunger rate, which in this case would be 1.88 or 188%. Now, she's going to eat a lot of food during doing this training, so it is kind of costly. Luckily, Vamrix is a skeleton, and he doesn't eat a darn thing. So, however, I wanted to show you real quick that kind of like, early game when you're pretty broke, which we are, it's good to buy sort of meat And it's very cheap, and it doesn't give you very much nutritional units. It only gives you 15, but there isn't any meat for sale here. So I just want to point out that one of the things you can also buy that it only has 25 nutrition units left right now, but it did originally have 75, and it only costs 370. Now, it's definitely not as economically sound as picking up just the regular meat, but it is better than, the cost per nutrition unit is better than everything else that's for sale here, right? So you can see here the cooked vegetables is 388 for 25 nutrition units. That's basically the same price. It's actually more expensive than the Gohan, and it only gives a third of the nutrition unit, right? So it will last us a third as long. Now, here's a food cube, right, which basically costs twice as much or twice the amount as the Gohan, and it gives 75 NU. So when you have a lot of money, these food cubes can be really good because they take up less space in your inventory. Like if you look at this is a 3x3, or it takes up 9 total slots, whereas the food cube is a 2x3, and it takes up, or a 3x2, whichever one you want to say. It takes up basically, takes up 1/3 less space in your inventory for the same weight, and it takes and it gives you the same NU. So if you have lots of money and you can buy these food cubes, they're very good. They're not as good as ration packs, but they are pretty good when you have a lot of money. So another thing I should mention too is that I noticed, interestingly enough, now maybe it was because it was nighttime. Here's sand. That's actually really cool. I believe it just seems like this bar in this mod overhaul seems a little empty compared to like what I remember in vanilla. Now, maybe that the NPCs are spread out throughout the town, and that's why it appears that way. I'm not really sure. But, it definitely didn't feel as alive as the vanilla bar, which is, saying a little bit because it is the hub. Of course, it might be, like I said, because it was at night or something. Maybe during the day it'll be more populated. However, there's a lot more population out in the town center, which makes the actual outside of the town feel incredibly alive, and I love that. I really think they did just a fantastic job. If you guys are listening, I think you did a wonderful job just sort of making the town in general feel alive. There's a lot more people kind of walking around doing things, it looks like. I may be wrong on that, but that's what it feels like. That's my general impression. One thing I also forgot to mention, we're actually going to head over to Squin and check out some armor vendors. I want to get rid of these. Now, these are nice for sort of the actual, like, reduction values, like the resistance values, like the blunt resistance, cut resistance, and cut resistance efficiency. Those are quite good for how early on in the game we are. However, I don't like the coverage right now. I'm gonna want to wear some athletics / combat speed effect sandals for quite a while, probably, until my people are all going to be running faster than like 21 or 22 miles per hour, if I give them something that hinders their athletics. Now, these are hindering our athletics. Now, it is canceled out, right? So the run speed, like, even though we're wearing those, we are getting this sort of plus 4%. But I don't even want to have a deficit at all, or a negative. And so we're gonna get rid of these on both Vam and Ruka, and we're gonna head to Squin to take a look at their armor shop to see if they've got something. Now, I'm okay with just getting some cheap armor, samurai cloth pants, or whatever, something that has 100% coverage, that is not very good, essentially. Like, they can be standard grade, shoddy grade, whatever. I mean, shoddy would be kind of a bummer, but whatever, it's fine. I think I'd rather be able to run faster and get away than have some coverage right now, because we need to take damage anyway to build up our toughness, right? So if you don't know that about Kenshi, and if you want to know how to level skills, for the most part you can kind of look in here, right? So let's look at toughness. Now, toughness right now, it says damage resistance minus 52%, right? And essentially that means that every enemy that hits us, if they're doing if their base damage is 10 damage, and essentially, like, we are going to take 52% extra damage, right? So we're going to take considerably more damage. We'll probably take about 15 damage from them hitting us. And so once we get to around 50 in toughness, we'll take the even amount of damage that they're supposed to do. And then once you get higher than 50, you start actually reducing the damage that they do to you, right? So it'll start saying something like damage resistance 10% and 20%. And then eventually, as you get up to 100 toughness, I believe it goes to 65%. So, it'll slowly but surely. And the way you level toughness, of course, is by getting your butt kicked. And then also getting up while enemies are near you. That helps quite a bit. And the faster you get up near the higher number of enemies, that will give you more XP. I think I might actually mention that in the last episode. So what we're going to do here is do a little bit of armor shopping. I also wanted to mention that I added a couple mods here. So now they're just performance enhancing mods. It's still, of course, Squin is always loaded quite slow. But it does feel like it loaded faster than it did the last time we were playing. Whether it actually did or not, I don't know. I didn't time it. I could look at footage, but I haven't done that yet. So let's take a quick look through. So the ones that I've added, right? Let's just take a quick look at the mod list because it'll be easier than me trying to like remember them. Okay, so we've got the compressed textures project. We've got reduced weather effects. We got less clutter times 0.25. So that's going to have basically a quarter of the amount of sort of like foliage and rocks and stuff that are on the ground. And then I added the nice maps mod because it doesn't conflict and it doesn't give any spoilers away. That's what I was worried about. And then of course we already had the transparent UI, and we also have Genesis, of course, obviously the Genesis mod, which you guys can all get if you check the link in the description of the video. There should be some information on how to get in contact, get on their Discord and get that. And then there was an emergency hotfix that they posted essentially for the alpha release, that if you want, there's some issues with Mongrel that if you want those to be fixed, you need to use this emergency hotfix. And I'm assuming they will continue to probably update the emergency hotfix, which is on the Steam Workshop. I don't know if it's on the Nexus, but I would guess they probably will put it up on the Nexus. If not, you can use Steam to grab it. And this one will probably be updated throughout as they do work on the alpha, and then maybe once they release a beta, they'll come out with a new Genesis that we'll need to update to that, and then they'll put out emergency hotfixes on. I don't know if that's actually what they're going to do, but I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here. So anyway, that's kind of what we're running with now, and I will add a Steam collection, of course, with all the mods that you can get on top of Genesis if you want to use them, so you know what I'm using during the play. If I ever add anything, you can reproduce the playthrough. So let's take a look at the armor again here and see if we can find some legs. And oh, there we go. They're prototype. That kind of sucks. But it is what it is. I don't know that I'm going to buy those though. Those are kind of trashy. Now stuff like this, right? Now this is what I'm looking for. It's not as good as the high grade that we have, but it doesn't reduce athletics. Like if you look at these plated drifters leather pants, I do like them, but they reduce athletics. In early game, we don't want that. So I'm not going to buy prototype. Those are pretty much garbage. But I think what I will do is essentially pick up some. I will pick up some standard grade because they do give better coverage. They're 90% versus the 60%, but they're still not what I want. I want samurai cloth pants early game when I'm wearing these types of sandals because they give you 100% coverage, and then I don't ever have to wonder, is there a 10% chance that we're going to take full damage to that leg? I don't want that. That's not what we want at all. I will also look out for turtlenecks. I'm not going to replace a leather shirt because I don't really want to spend money on that. But the Shinobi's Guild, guys, is another place I should have checked probably while we were in that other town. So I'm going to go ahead and buy these. Is he not here? Or are they too expensive? They're only $5.96. Where is he? He should be following her. Yeah, he is. Okay, let's go ahead and buy those, and then we'll go ahead and sell these guys. And then we'll keep our eyes out. And I think I will stop by the Shinobi Thieves Guild because we need to actually go back that way on our way out of town anyway. And I should probably at some point buy some better armor. But, all this stuff's pretty heavy. This isn't too bad. This might actually be better. I think we'll just stick with what we got and we'll start. I want to primarily loot. So I'm not going to replace the tops if I can with stuff that we buy, because we want to save up money for our recruits, right? We're going to have to get some money to get our new recruits. So that's kind of what I'd like to do is sort of save our money for that. And so I think we'll stay with what we've got so far. We might just really quickly we'll just swing back by the Shinobi Thieves over here. It's kind of silly that we ran all the way down here and now we're running back, but I would really like to find another pair of samurai cloth pants, and often you will be able to find them at the Shinobi Thieves. Oh, looks like he wants to talk to us here. He probably wants to check our gear. Yeah, you can take a look. It's fine. We've already been through that. And that's why we want to regain her honor, right? I think once you become super popular with the Shek, they will leave you alone and won't check your bags anymore because they will worship us, guys. They will absolutely worship us. They'll love us. And taking a look here at Vam's stats now, like look at his run speed, right? It was 18 before, but now that he doesn't have a penalty, he's going 20. And as soon as we take care of this situation with Ruka, we should see something similar. She should be able to run close to the same speed. All right, we're just about to the hub, and we've got a group of dust bandits that are kind of giving us a hard time here, and it looks like they're going to chase us into town. So I'm hoping that we can kind of we can get him to chase us into town and get the guards to kind of engage a little bit. Then we can engage, gain some skill, because we obviously can't engage this on our own, right? And so we'll get in there. Hopefully the guards will. Oop, oop, oop. I was having trouble clicking there. That was interesting. So why don't I go ahead and click up here? We'll go ahead and speed this up a little bit, but they can't catch us, right? Now they're keeping up with us for the most part, but we just want to get them up here. Now I think there may be enough guards and stuff in this town. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I shouldn't have stopped running there. That was a bad idea. But I don't actually know, and it may be that we'll run into some trouble here, and I don't actually know. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get turned around here, and we do want to get in here and get mixed in with these dudes, right? We don't want to shy away from combat. That's how you get better, is engaging in combat. But we do want to be careful about the engagements that we take. And I don't think we need to worry about dying in this situation or anything. We're just going to gain skill ups here. So Ruka is just getting absolutely swarmed here. And of course, by default, it has the ×5 mod. And I don't use block. I certainly could. That's one thing I could do early game is utilize block. It looks like Vam's getting engaged too. Not doing too bad. We're not going down by any means, but we're certainly getting just absolutely. I mean, look at the damage that Ruka has taken on her arm here. She's taken quite a bit of damage here. I think one thing that we can do is get Ruka out of here, and I'll just show you this. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on Ruka. Now I'm going to go ahead and select them both, actually, before I do this. I'm going to right-click on Ruka. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I think because she has to first aid herself first. So we'll let Vamrix kind of get engaged here and keep fighting. I think he should be just fine. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on Ruka a little bit here. So Vam's getting stuck in here. Get some blocks. He's getting hit a little bit more than I'd like, but hey, you know what? That's how you level your block. The more like you get more XP for getting hit than you do for a block, right? So you will get Dex XP every time you block. You will get Defense XP every time you block, but you get more of those if you actually get hit, if you don't successfully block. So what we're doing is we're waiting here. Oh man, Vam's looking so funny. He's all stubby and he's just tiny. It's so cool. And then we're waiting for Ruka to essentially finish her first aiding. Now that she's done first aiding, right, that left arm can be splinted. And we don't have a splint job, and I like to have a splint job set up. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to right-click on Ruka after so I hit the tilde key, right? So if you select anybody, you can use like the 1 key, the 2 key to select people in your group. If you hit the tilde key, that will actually select everyone in your group. And then I'm going to right-click on Ruka, and now you can see in this context menu, split injuries shows up. I'm going to hold down the left shift key, and I'm going to let go, and then boom, down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you can see splint rigging showed up. So after they medic and do robotics, they will do splint rigging on each other. So after they're done fighting here, they'll go ahead and do that. And it looks like they are done fighting. So now we can take a look. They're going to robotics on Vam first, and then once they're done with that, they're going to start, I think Vam should start doing it on Ruka, right? He's going to go ahead and do, he's going to splint, because they both got splint kits, right? Let's see, are they actually going to do that? Shouldn't they? That's interesting. I wonder if she already splinted herself. Nope, there we go. So she splinted. Now, because they're very bad at first aid, they're not going to get much splinting done, right? You can see that this splinting is quite a poor job. Now, eventually they can splint, so it, is this huge green bar. So what that means is the light green is essentially saying, okay, yeah, you're damaged, and you're damaged to where this should be on the left-hand side of it. But because I've splinted it, it's going to perform, like, as far as penalties go for determining, like, so you can see injuries here. Oops. Not on attack. Which ones are they on? Is it on strength? Yeah, so you can see here the arm injury will affect your strength, right? It'll affect your effective strength, essentially. And that is going to give you a minus 11% penalty to your strength. So whatever your strength's at, it'll give you a minus 11%. So in this case, like 10% would be 2 around, and it'll give you a little bit more than that. Looks like it might be rounding to, and then that's going to affect your max carry weight as well because of the penalty. So pretty cool though. And then as their skill in that gets higher over time in their, what is it called? Medic or something? Field medic. As that gets higher, they will be able to splint more effectively. So if you want, you can always use a dedicated medic. I don't ever do that. I'm too lazy. And I will sometimes keep somebody in the background to help medic, but I'm never going to have a dedicated medic. I like to have a cross-functional team. I like to have everybody doing medic. Another thing I should show some of you new Kenshi players is that when you're moving as a group, right? Now, I don't always do this. When I have larger groups, I actually use a different technique, which I will show you at some point when we start needing to do it, unless I already showed you and I'm old and I forgot. What I do here sometimes, at least early game, or at least when I'm not going through areas like the swamp, is you can once you have people grouped, right, you can kind of use this selector up here. You know, that'll tell everybody to run at their max speed. So what I can do here is I can click here, and you'll see that eventually, because Vamrix runs faster than Ruka, he's going to start distancing away from her, right? And in order to prevent that, there's a couple ways to do it, but one of the ways you can do it with a smaller group, and if you're not moving through crazy territory where water will get your entire group killed, you can essentially select this, which keeps, I don't know what it's called, but it essentially makes your entire group move at the same pace. Holy hell, there's a big fight out here. Oh yeah, dude. Let's go get stuck in, baby. Let's do it. What are these guys? Dust bandits? Oh, they're hungry bandits. Let's get out here. Especially on the leader, right? Like, we don't care about fighting hungry bandits. These guys are jerks, man. Let's get out. Let's get out here and do it. Oh, and I've got Vamrix set to ranged now, so hopefully he won't accidentally shoot somebody that's going to come and be mad at him for doing that. It doesn't look like they did. Anyway, that's a demonstration of how to use movement. Now we need to get some more money to get ready to go get a recruit. Now, I don't know how much the recruits are going to cost, some of these recruits that you guys have been requesting, and I didn't look it up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the point where I have 10K, and then I'm going to go looking for them, just so that we have a little bit of a buffer. And honestly, if we get there and we don't have enough money, well, we'll steal some stuff and we'll make some money, or we'll wait for some people to get in fights, or we'll get in fights, or whatever. Okay, so we did find, I went and sold some of the armor that we didn't want to wear anymore, and I did not sell it to this shinobi trader, right? Because if you sell to the shinobi trader, you're not getting a lot of money. You're getting half the money that you normally would at a shop. So don't sell here, but you can buy here, and look at how cheap this stuff is, right? I mean, this is a standard grade black leather skirt. I've never even seen this before, so I'm assuming this is something with Omos or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. It has pretty decent coverage. It's got 90%, so it's definitely better than what we had before. Now the values as far as the actual resistances go, not as good, not nearly as good actually, but I think it'll be cool to see what it looks like. I'm not a big fan of the 50% cut resistance efficiency. Cut resistance efficiency on your outer layer is incredibly important. Now, we don't really have any layers underneath our pants, so it doesn't really matter as much with our pants, but if we had boots that essentially had another layer, and you've got a cut resistance efficiency of 50%, that means a lot of that, well, half of the damage that you would have resisted essentially will go through as blunt damage and skip all the layers below it. So, for instance, on a chest piece, right, if you're relying on your shirt to be your next layer, and your pants, if they're samurai cloth pants, to have another layer of protection for your stomach, that can be a very, very big issue. It can lower your damage reduction or your effective HP considerably. So you want to try to make sure that your outer layers, if they have layers underneath them that you're relying on for damage protection, to have as high a cut resistance efficiency as possible, ideally around 90% or more. But sometimes you can't get that, right? So you want to have your outer layers be as high as possible on the cut resistance efficiency, just as a general rule of thumb. It's a very complex system. I'm not going to explain it all right now. I will certainly, if people have questions about it, you can ask me in Discord, or you can ask me in the comments, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people who would love to explain that as well. It's a very complex system. Also, I think this shirt is not really going to do us any good, and I'd like to get something a little bit better, and it looks like there's 2 assassin's rags here. Now, that's not really good for a robot, because they can't really compensate for the lack of stomach and chest protection. So I don't think I'm going to go with that. I think we'll wait for something better. You can see how there's also only 10% chest protection on this one. So we want something on him, because he can't have a shirt. We want something on him that's going to give him 100% coverage on both the stomach and the chest, because those are vital areas, and you have to protect those, because those are what allow you to die. If you go to if you go to minus 100, or in his case minus 200 on those, 201 actually, you have to go 1 below. the negative of your max. So if your max is 200, you go to the negative 200. You go one more than that, minus 201, you die. If you're a fogman and your max is 50 and you go to minus 51, you die. So, and that's basically the head, the stomach, and the chest. The arms and legs, you can lose those and replace them. It's fine. You'll bleed a lot, but you can live through it, right? You can't live through going to minus 201 on a head or a stomach or a chest. So you need to absolutely protect those as if it was the most important thing you're doing. So, and I think, well, let's see how much this costs. Yeah, I'm not going to buy that. We'll wait until we get some from loot. I saw these two guys, by the way. I've never seen these before. These don't have an athletics increase, so we're not going to grab them yet. Maybe later game we'll grab these on somebody. But really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what some of this stuff looks like. I haven't seen some of this. We'll add these to characters as we kind of get new characters. And I'm not going to buy this backpack, unfortunately. That's kind of what we were here for, and armor. But we will continue to look for a chest piece for Vam. And I'm going to leave him as martial arts, too. So I'm not going to worry about having... Because he's a skeleton. He doesn't take any damage on his hands from doing martial arts against heavy armor, right? So since he's a skeleton, he won't take any damage from punching. Whereas if he was a Greenlander or a Scorchlander or a Shek or a Hiver or whatever, he will take damage. You know, I just realized that I never showed you guys the graphics on Ruka's new pants. Although I don't think that they're pants. I mean, it just kind of seems like maybe they're a little bit more sexy than I was thinking they were going to be. If you know what I'm saying, they're looking good, girl. Ruka's the hot chick. I'm just saying, she looked good. So yeah, pretty cool. I really like a lot of the textures that people have come up with for some of this armor. It's really nice, and they're definitely pretty skimpy. I can see why they're not 100% protection. Although Ruka's bone plates, right? Those should help. Yeah, so here we go. Here's a shot of Ruka's kind of overall look with those on. She looks pretty sharp. I like it. Definitely. The top doesn't match the bottoms, and the sandals kind of stick out. You know, the color coordination isn't quite there, but they're looking good. You know what I'm saying? They're looking good. So we're making it work. Guys, there's so much more action here than there is in vanilla. It's crazy. Like, there's just people, like, fighting all the time. And we're just, like, cleaning up this battlefield, like just making grips of cash. I mean, it's not a ton, but look at this, right? We're already at 11K almost. So I think I'm going to just fill up here real quick, go sell this stuff, and then we'll head on. We'll go get our new recruit. I hope you guys are excited to see who it is, man, because I'm super excited to introduce him. I got some new techniques for trying it out. So I'd love the feedback from you guys once you do end up seeing their sort of intro in the final product of the video. I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing what you guys think of it and like giving me feedback on how you think I can make it even better, or maybe just totally redo it and improve it. So I'm always looking for feedback from you guys about how I can make this more fun for y'all. So because you guys make it a blast for me, just interacting with you in the comments. It's just an absolute pleasure to have you guys along for the ride. It's really been amazing so far. So we're kind of making our way across this ravine here, and we're going to come up here, and we're going to check out Ironhaven. I don't really know what that is. It's definitely not from vanilla, so it's a town I think they've added with this overhaul. And I think we should go over there and check it out. So let's see what it's all about, guys. Okay, cool. So we just discovered a way station. It looks like we got a way station right over here, so we could probably stop in there if we wanted to, but we don't really need to. We kind of have everything we need. We probably should pick up some sleeping bags at some point, and I would like to find a backpack for Vam at some point, too. I probably should have... I don't know. I don't think there'd be a Shinobi Thieves Guild there, but there should be an adventure shop there, which will have a chance. Wow, it seems like this area is really slow to render, or slow to load by comparison to what I remember it being. Probably because we're loading in Ironhaven and whatever this sort of ruined settlement is, I guess. That's okay. All right, so we can kind of see Ironhaven. I believe that's Ironhaven right up here. I'm not really sure who lives there or how dangerous it is. Actually, it looks like that's a ruined settlement. Ironhaven is probably... So you can point your arrow here, right? Ironhaven looks like it's right up here. So let's just... Oh, whoa. What? Oh, my God. Guys, look at this, guys. This is so cool, man. I can't tell you how much I enjoy seeing stuff like this. This is really sweet, man. Just exciting. What is this? Look at these new towers and everything. This is cool, dude. This is oh man, whoever put this city together, I don't know if it's one or more people, but man, fantastic job. Looks like it's free traders potentially. Yeah, it's free traders. So we can get in there and explore. I say we get in there and check it out, see if there's any shops. Maybe there's some recruits. I don't know. So I have no idea what's here and who's here, and I think we should just really get in here and kind of explore and check it out. Man, look at this, dude. This is so cool. Like, this is just another example of just the beautiful craftsmanship, the wonderful, wonderful work that these guys have put into this mod. Look at how detailed this is. Like, this little shop set up with a trade sign, and they've got, like, all kinds of, like, these, I forget what these are, actually, these little capacitor plates or whatever. I can't remember what they are. And then tools laid out here, some metal plates, potentially, I think, maybe. Whatever these boots are, they look like maybe they're, like, I'm not sure, plated leather boots or something. I don't really know. They don't, first aid kits, etc. Like, just look at all this cool stuff. Gears. Oh man, this is just cool, man. That's pretty sweet. And I bet during the day there's probably people out here selling their goods and stuff. Just a really neat spin on a town. Gotta say, really cool. Oh, is this stuff we can steal? No, it's just showing up. Like, it's just something about how they're placed in the game is showing up. It's highlighting it. I think if that could be turned off, that'd be amazing, guys. I like the sign, right? I like the sign showing up, but I don't like these cups and stuff being highlighted. The reason I say that is because if you guys don't know, in Kenshi, you can hold down Alt to show you where the signs in a town are. And I think that sort of makes it harder to do that. So if there's a way to toggle, like, if there's a way, now maybe it's because they're not stealable, right? I'm not sure, but I mean, they are. I mean, those should be stealable. Why shouldn't they be? I'm not really. Yeah, you guys will have to let me know. Maybe some of the devs can chime in. I'm very, very new to modding, so I'm sure there's some reasons why they're doing that, and they made some compromises. But just, I'd love to know. So, yeah, really beautiful town so far. I'm loving it. Let's check out this bar over here and see what we can find. Looks like a pretty typical setup in here. What I would expect, kind of from vanilla, sort of from vanilla. Not really. Not really. There are some things in here, like, for instance, this guy right here, this plastic surgeon. There's a free trader's plastic surgeon right here. I am super happy to see a plastic surgeon here. Why do I say that? Because plastic surgeons, if you're a content creator, you need to name your characters. You need to rename people. And sometimes you get recruits, and it doesn't let you recruit. It doesn't let you name them right away. And it's very, very, very helpful. So I'm extremely thankful that they put those in. Hopefully there's a lot of them all over the world. But it makes it easier for content creators to essentially rename their characters, right? Because we're trying to pay tribute to you guys who are really the reason we do this, right? And so I just thank you so much to the modders for, I don't know whether that was intentional or not, or, if you had testing purposes in mind, or if you had content creators in mind, but either way, whether you had us in mind or not, I really am so thankful that you guys did that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, dude, we got some backpacks in here, guys. I don't know if I'll ever buy any of these, but I kind of really want to, right? Because check this out. Like, these are totally different bags than in vanilla. What is this? Oh, it's a bolt quiver. I've never even used that mod. That's super cool. Because I think that allows you to take more stacks of bolts, right? I'm not sure. We should try one out. We should definitely try one out. That seems pretty sweet. Yeah, I think we should just get one. Because he doesn't have a backpack, right? Vamrix doesn't have a backpack. And why wouldn't we just get him one? Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Yeah, let's check it out. So I'm guessing we can kind of stack these bolts in here. Hopefully they stack. Wait, what? They don't stack? Let's exit out of there and let's right click and try to get these guys. No, they don't stack? Really? Wait, on the belt? No. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Well, let's take a look at what it looks like. Well, that vendor looks cool. I like that. Oh, neato. Look at that, guys. That's really cool. I don't know if we'll continue to use it, but that is certainly amazing. I'm a little disappointed that they don't stack. I guess it makes sense because it might be a little OP if they did stack. And there's no combat reduction, but I think I would still probably use a thieves backpack on this character because, like, oh, you can actually put that in there. What? That's pretty freaking cool. I take it all back, guys. I love this backpack. It's a little small for my taste, but it's pretty cool. Like, I think it's really neat to see that there's stuff like this available in the game now. It's really cool. It's just, the more choices you can give the user, and you don't want too much variety because then it becomes hard to pick. But definitely having some variety and choices is pretty cool. Very cool, guys. Very well done. And then I did want to kind of check out some of these other bags, but I didn't, like this one. But I don't want to buy that. And maybe once we have somebody that, is more of a heavy that we can kind of like carry that around. We'll check some of that stuff out. Because we're not necessarily or I should say alpha testing, because it is an alpha release. We're not really alpha testing this as much as we are making just sort of a series on it and featuring it. But we will try to explore some of this stuff along the way. I think we're more interested in the interactions between the towns, the assaults, the raids, whatever, NPC dialogue and stuff like that. We will check out items, of course, but I think the items that we do check out will probably be the ones that make sense for us to check out. And you can see here, this is a ration pack I was talking about earlier. This actually has 125 nutrition units, and it costs 886. So it is not quite as good of a price as buying the Gohan, but we're running a little bit. Well, I guess we're not running low on food. I actually bought some dried meat and some rice and stuff, so we'll stick to that. We don't need to get one of those yet, but that's certainly when you have plenty of money too, especially, that is a really good way to pack down food, because look at that. It's a 2x2 and it holds 125 nutritional units. It's absolutely fantastic. Check this out, guys. There's actually an Akronite temple here, so it looks like. I mean, obviously we knew they were Akronite, or at least okay with that religion anyway. They may not be oppressing other races and women, because I noticed a Shek were in the town. So I think, well, maybe I didn't actually. I'd have to pay closer attention. Maybe I was thinking of the other town. We'll pay close attention to that. I don't see anybody right now that sticks out. Maybe we can just take a look here. What do we got here? Why can't I wish it would tell me. I mean, I can see the horns, right? So it's obviously a Shek. So it looks like they are Akronite, similar to how the I can't think of the name. The Flotsam Ninjas, right? Like they do allow Akronites to live there, but they're not prejudiced in the same way that the Holy Nation is, right? The Holy Nation is kind of Akronites. They're Akronite extremists, right? So you guys probably already know that. I'm just saying it for the new players who don't know. And I'm trying to keep myself fresh, Try to keep my knowledge on. Well, this is kind of cool, guys. We've sort of ended up kind of coming up to this abandoned settlement here. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. Maybe there'll be some lore or something that we can find over in that other town. It just looks like I was kind of holding down Alt here, right? Looking for stuff that we could pick up, but I don't see anything. There's no weapons or any building materials or anything like that we can sell. So I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time here, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys. It's kind of neat. There's just sort of this broken down settlement. Now, I don't know if there's any mechanics in this mod overhaul to where you can kind of take this stuff over. That would be cool, right? Like, so if we could come in here and instead of just building our own base, we could come in here and sort of restore all these buildings and have our faction move in. That'd be pretty sweet. Oh, look at this. What's this? There's some kind of building over here. Priory of Akron. Well. I say we head in here, dudes. Let's check it out. Who are these guys? Cult of Narco. What? What? You guys know I like to say that. What? All right, let's I'm going to select both of these guys, and then I'm going to tell them to run as fast as they can, just in case, because I don't know what's going on in here. Oh, yeah, they don't like us. I don't think they do anyway. Do they? They seem okay. They don't seem to be ticked off that we're in here. Okay. Well, let's check it out then. Let's go upstairs maybe. Whoa. What is this? Bezel core? There's no dialogue option here, so... Wait, what? I swear I just saw... Yeah, it doesn't... It looks like there's... Maybe during the day we'll have to talk to him or something. I'm not really sure. Or maybe they won't talk to us because we're Shek or something? Let's take a look at this armor here. Oh, he looks like he's got a cannibal paint job. Interesting. I don't recognize that chest plate. It looks similar to the ones that the Holy Nation wear. All right, so just gonna quickly point this out here, just in case the devs are watching. It's not a super big deal, but like whatever the pathfinding is that's going on here, the character clearly wants to walk through these two objects, but because the clearance is not high enough, they can't actually get through, and so they just get stuck. So you have to manually get them out of there, and that's fine. But maybe move these farther apart from each other so that doesn't happen. Because if I'm in here and I try to tell these guys to move somewhere that's like over here or whatever, the character won't move, right? So I have to manually go over here and move them out, and that's fine. But just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention just in case you end up watching. All right, guys, I just wanted to chime in here with what I believe is an addition to the mod that kind of scared me here because it said discovered Harold's Field, And then I saw this holy military base here. Now, we are a Shek and a skeleton. That's not conducive to good health for us at all. We can't go through there. Now, I don't believe that existed in vanilla, right? Because I've taken this path many times to go to where we're going. And anybody who knows Kenshi can see now where I'm going right now. So you probably can get kind of clued in here a little bit as to who I'm going to bring into the team, potentially. Maybe not, but for those of you who don't know, I'm going to leave it as a surprise. But I would strongly suggest in this mod, if you are in the early stages of the game, avoid this holy military base at all costs if you are anything but a Greenlander. And yeah, don't go close to that holy military base. So we're going to avoid that for now. And I will take a different path than I usually do. We are also going to check out Harold's Field here once we get our new recruit. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what that is, because that wasn't in vanilla either, I don't believe. So, I mean, there'd probably be things that I think weren't in vanilla that were, that I just didn't discover because I'm exploring a little bit more now. But yeah, let me know. I'm pretty sure this is new. And yeah, so we're definitely going to check it out after we get our new dude. All right, guys, we are in the Deadlands. We just entered the Deadlands. You'll notice it's raining. That's not just any rain for those of you who are new to Kenshi, okay? Beware when you come here. That is acid rain. And funny enough, this guy, Vamerix, right, because he's a skeleton, he's immune to acid rain. Ruka, however, is not. But you'll notice it says acid rain protection 100%. I didn't do that on purpose. It just actually ended up going like that. I was a little worried that she was going to take some damage. But I had no idea that we had already, like, all of her gear. Let's just check this out for reference, right? Her pants, black leather skirt, 10% acid protection. Scrap metal hat, 60% acid protection. Acid protection on the black plate jacket, 40%. So it ended up being 110% total, which is amazing. I did not plan that, by the way. It just actually ended up happening. So one thing to be aware of is, and now it doesn't matter, and this is why I want to be fast, by the way, because there are skeletons. Now, there may be more here than I'm expecting, right? Because I'm used to vanilla. But you see all these skeletons here. When I mouse over them, they are not red. The icon does not go red. They are not active, so we don't need to worry about them. However, sometimes these not skeletons, I should say. I mean, they do belong to the skeleton faction. But they are, that's where we're going, by the way, Black Desert City, for those of you who just saw that pop up. Some of these guys are awake, and they will appear red when we mouse over them. Now, they move very slowly, at least they did in vanilla. They move at 11 miles per hour, so you don't really need to worry about them as long as you don't run into them. However, it is possible that there are more dangerous enemies in this mod. I don't know. I did not peruse through the mod in FCS, which is the Forgotten Construction set, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. If you ever want to play around and make your own mods, that's the way to do it. And there are lots and lots of people on the Kenshi Discord who are very helpful with that. There's been so many people, lovely people, that have just really been so helpful to myself, Rodamont, Sabouts, all the content creators, I'm sure, have at some point gotten just absolutely wonderful help from these people. They're so very kind, and they give us a lot of their time. I really appreciate it. We gotta be careful when we get close to these. That looks... Something about this looks incomplete, guys, or I should say incomplete, right? With an I and rather than a U. Yeah, so here's what they look like, right? We saw this in the other town. But you got to be careful, these guys, right? Because if you aggro them, they are on harpoons. We don't want to aggro those guys right now because we will get absolutely destroyed by those harpoons. So we want to give them a wide berth if we can and try not to aggro them whatsoever. And we will notice our character portraits, of course, flashing if we do aggro them. But yeah, that definitely, in case anybody who's a dev was watching, that definitely looks like an incomplete asset. Which, you know, I have added a couple other mods now, so maybe something due to that. But my guess would be it's just something that's incomplete. So we should expect to see stuff like that, guys. No big deal. We knew it was an alpha going in, right? So let's appreciate the good, report the bad, and not give them grief about it. Let's be thankful for all the hard work they're doing. All right, so this is Black Desert City, and let's go ahead and... Oh, we already have sped it up a little bit here. I guess I'm used to running it on 3x sometimes, or running at like 30 plus miles an hour. We also discovered the Scrap House, which is a very nice place to get very good gear. You can get all kinds of stuff like Edge Type 3 and whatnot up there. Very expensive, so if you have a lot of money, that is a good place to go shopping. So let's just kind of take a look at the town here. It looks pretty similar to vanilla. Let's see, what are people saying here? Why are you here, human? Nothing there. Nothing here. There's nothing for you here. I wonder... if it matters. If we're controlling Vamerix, I want to try to do some talking with Vamerix because I think Camel mentioned that there might be some dialogue issues that I should test. Well, there could be. She didn't say there would be. She just was curious because the race group was changed, I believe. So we'll do some talking with Vam. In fact, I think what we'll do... Oops. I think what we'll do is basically put Ruka on follow here, and she can catch up. She won't be as fast, but that's okay. So let's do some talking with Vam here and see what his dialogue looks like. What's this guy look like? Oh, cool. It's a scout skeleton. Very nice. Very nice. You can see this is, I think, a P4 unit. I don't know which one. I know there's different models of them, but it does. You can tell the head, I think, is the same head that, like, Catlon has, I believe, and that's a P4. Yeah, look at this armor. Pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. It looks really cool, actually, on this scout unit. Very nice. These guards look pretty epic. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to this guy. I just want to give you a quick... Oh. What? What is this? What is this? A cybernetic device made from old world technology. The shield model provides full body coverage. The higher the mark, the stronger the shield? What? Does this go in the... Oh, I feel like we should buy one of these. We don't have the money to buy any of this, guys. Oh, look at this. This we might be able to. Oh, there's still 7,000 though. Holy crap, these are expensive. So my guess is, guys, that since they're 2x2, right, they probably go in the belt slot. What I would like to know is, now this stuff doesn't really apply because it's just martial arts and dodge and all that. But for the ones, I'm looking for one that has movement speed on it or attack speed or something. Oh man, these are cool. This is a way of rebalancing skeletons, I'm assuming, which I'm very happy to see. I'm very happy to see that because then I don't have to worry about unlocking the head slot, unlocking the shirt slot, trying to, you know, make them a little bit stronger because late game the skeletons have a little bit of a disadvantage, being able to be, you know, basically one shot by harpoons and stuff like that in the head. It's not very often because you got 200 HP, but they can get one shot KO'd, right? Because there are things that can hit you for 400 damage or 350 or so. Well, these are cool. So what, okay, my question to the devs, or anybody that knows this, I guess maybe I could look in FCS. I don't know where to look for this, but I'd like to know where this damage resistance fits in, because if you guys notice, it shows coverage on everything, right? Where does that fit in? I guess it doesn't really matter in layering because it doesn't have a cut resistance efficiency. Which means it's... so you notice at the top how it says light armor class, it says blunt resistance 49%, cut resistance 72%. Because it doesn't have a cut resistance efficiency, what that means is it's 100%. So none of the resisted cut damage will get converted into blunt damage and bypass your layers. So it may not matter as much what the order of this is, or where this damage reduction gets applied in the order of things, right? I still would like to know. I still would like to know where in the order it fits. So if any devs are watching this or anybody who knows where to look in the FCS, let me know kind of what layer this is, right? Is it applied before the head? Like, is it... Because usually it goes head, then armor, then shirt, then pants, then boots, right? Shirts and pants and boots. So maybe the belt is applied first. I don't know. But if you happen to know what order these are used in, please let me know. I'd love to know. And once we have like 20K to spare, we're coming back, man, because these are awesome. I hope they put those on NPCs as drops too, like on the more powerful skeletons that you might fight. That would be rad, and I hope they do that. Okay, what else we got here in town? Looks like we got a bar and we got a... Wait, what shop is this? It's a cybernetic shop, but it looks like there's another one over here. It's a robotic shop. Okay, so that's a cybernetic shop. And then I think probably the robotic shop is where we would get stuff like cybernetic limbs. So let's go take a look and see what kind of cybernetic limbs they have, because they have the best cybernetic limbs in this town, usually in the world of Kenshi. So let's see if that kind of like... Oh, I didn't want to steal. Good thing I wasn't holding down Alt. A human. Okay, so apparently they think we're a human. So I'm guessing that the Camel Spider, if you happen to be watching this, you wanted to know kind of what the dialogue is like. Well, when Vimorix is talking to this vendor, and you did mention if they think you're a human, that it probably, the dialogue hasn't been properly referenced yet because the race changed. So looks like it. So a human. It's not every day I get a human customer, but sure, I got plenty of parts that should fit you. Fine indeed. Did you travel all the way here just for my expertise? Gosh, I'm flattered. I don't blame you though, human. Flesh is good for nothing but rotting. That's rude. Rude! That's like me telling you metal's not good for anything but rusting. It's just rude. Where was I going with this? Right, and that was it. I guess you're looking to buy some parts. I should, yeah. Or maybe you're looking for some repairs. I can fix anything. Trust me, years of experience. Everybody thinks they're a robotics expert these days. I bet not me. I'm not confused about that. I stick to software. But they've got nothing on the robotics capital of the land. Believe you me. You were right to pilgrimage hundreds of miles just to seek me out. I am really good at this stuff. Where was I going with this? Show me what you've got. Let's see what they've got. Looks like pretty much vanilla limbs. So no overpowered Jewies. I do love Jewies, by the way, regardless of whether it's overpowered or not. I would like to see, if Jewies is ever incorporated, I'd like to see the NPCs have a random chance to be using Jewies limbs too, or limbs in general, right? Like if I can get cybernetic limbs, the people that I'm running into in the world should also be able to buy cybernetic limbs to replace limbs that they've lost in combat at some point if they don't die, etc. So be cool to see that. Be really cool to see that. And that may already be there and I just haven't seen it. So that's another store we have. What else do we got? We have one more store here to take a look at, the bar. Let's get in there, guys. Oh, yeah. Look at all these skeletons in the bar, baby. Look at this. Look at this. Mm-hmm. Who do we got here? Who do we got? Anybody special? Whoa, this guy is not very happy. Oh, these are metal bone pirates. Swishos, I love you. This is awesome. I'm so happy to see this. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, this is pretty sweet, man. Sad Neil is here still. Okay, that's cool. Let's check out what they've got at the bar. I'm guessing probably fuel and stuff, right? Show me what you've got. I should have read that maybe, guys. Sorry about that. So we got electrical components. We got skeleton repair kits. That's great. And we got some grog. That's important because these guys are pirates and they like alcohol, even if it's just for cleaning their parts. And we got fuel, which, if you don't know, gasoline is also a solvent, which will clean robotics parts. Potentially. I don't know if that's why they have it, but yeah. That's the story I'm going with. Now I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing any of the guys that I'm looking for. I do see Taryn here, so we can potentially go talk to him. Who is this? This is a scout. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So that's possibly potentially a recruit that we can grab. I don't know. It looks like we can talk to him. Who else do we got up here? All right, we got. Oh. All right, well, I am not seeing the person that I'm looking for, so I may have to search around a little bit to see if I can find him. All right, guys, we're finally here, and what we need to do, this is the scrap house, by the way. If we take a look at the map here, you can kind of see that the scrap house is sort of just east on this little point here from Black Desert City. But it's a little confusing. The first time I came here, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. You have to go up to the second floor, and so that's where we're going. We're just kind of we want to check out the scrap house, but I think maybe this is where the recruit is because we couldn't find it in the other part of the town. And so what you do is go up to floor 1 and then click on the inside, and then that will send your character up there, so we can follow Ruka as she goes up here. Oh, yeah, and there he is. Lionhead. Another drifter here to employ the great Lionhead. Maybe. What are you charging? For a scant 10,000 cats, I'll join your squad. You won't regret it. And the funny thing is I had no idea how much this recruit costs. Like, I knew they were here because I had seen... This is one of Camel Spider's modded characters, by the way. And so comes with their Mark III and Mark IV skeleton package. Really amazing mod. And, you know, of course, Dafake had, of course, requested a lion head. And so here we are picking him up, and I couldn't find him for the life of me. But the thing is that the stats, I took a little bit of liberty with the stats here. So, all right, let's make a deal. I wonder if we can we talk them down, I wonder? 10,000 cats? Are you crazy? I get 3 new squad members for that. Fine, 3,000 cats, but I want a new sword. Oh, I had no idea, actually, so that's cool. 1,000 cats, and I'm changing your name. Are you kidding? Seriously? Agreed, please. Just let me out of here. I'm going bonkers in this wasteland. Deal. Okay, guys, so here we are. Working on Defake. Welcome to the team, my man. Welcome to the team. So glad to have you. This is really amazing, guys. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of info because you guys all had every single story that everybody submitted was super amazing, and it was actually really hard for me to kind of decide who comes in first, because it's one of those things where like I want everybody to be in right now, but I've got some really cool stuff I want to do with character intros, which you guys have already seen, of course, and I wanted to sort of like do that for every character, and that's going to take a long time to do, and so I can't bring everybody in at the same time. But every time we bring somebody in, I want you to read the backstory. I want to read to you the backstory just in case you missed it in the comments of the character that we're bringing in. So here's Defake's backstory. Defake was involved in an experiment by one of Catlon's mad scientists. His CPU was reprogrammed to make him believe he was a Shek. He became a Shek extremist who believes in honor above all else. He's reluctant to trust anyone who is not Shek. He will challenge anyone he deems to be dishonorable, even when outnumbered. Many Shek admire his bravery despite seeing him as crazy. Ruka was a close friend before she was dishonored. Defake's honor-bound programming created distance between them. Eventually, he started to have doubts about Ruka deserving her mark of dishonor. Upon questioning this belief, Defake asked to accompany Ruka and her little skeleton on their adventure. He wanted to see for himself if she deserves such a fate. So now, guys, I took a little bit of liberty with the wording. Hopefully you guys don't take offense to that. Your guys' stuff is beautiful, and I just had to sort of reword it a little bit because I'm going to read it to you guys, right? And so absolutely fantastic job on the story. I really appreciate you submitting it, man. This is absolutely awesome. I'm super glad to have you here, and I'm looking forward to the next person we're going to bring in. Oh, I don't need the apostrophe S there. That's kind of funny. I'm glad I didn't hit enter there. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Let me know if I am. It's Defake as himself. And welcome to the team, dude. Super awesome. Let's take a look at your gear here and see what you got real quick. You've got a katana, a model refitted blade. Not bad, not bad. You got some plated drifter's leather pants that do affect your athletics, but that's okay. We can handle that. And you've got some assassin's rags. Looking sharp, dude. Looking sharp. So, now, I did take a little bit of liberty with the stats on the character, okay? So please, Camel Spider, don't murder me. But the character did originally come with 35 in all stats, and I want our characters to start reasonably weak. And the reason I want that is because I want everyone to kind of start on the same playing field. Now, there's a little bit of variance in the stats, so I changed them from 35 to 15, and they do have a variance of up to 5, and so it could have gone up to 20, right? And so melee attack, you can see, is almost 20. And essentially I looked at kind of where our characters are now, and they're really not even up to that. So I thought it would be okay for him to be a little bit stronger than the rest because he's old, but I don't want to bring in powerful characters, guys. I want you guys to have to struggle through this together, right? I want you guys to have to be a team, work together, and get strong. And so that's what we're doing. Now, as far as the next character submission goes, you guys have already submitted, a ton of you have already submitted characters, more are coming in even as I'm filming this. So I'm going to be taking a look at that here in a minute. What I'm looking for in terms of deciding who comes in, right? Now, I'm starting with likes, whatever your character submission gets. Now, that's a little unfair to the people who are submitting new stories because a lot of you guys who have already watched the first episode, you probably aren't going back and looking at stories and liking them, right? I would really appreciate it if you guys would take just a few minutes to do that if you have the time. If you don't, I totally understand. It's all good. But if you have the time and you're willing to go back and look at some of those stories, now that you've already submitted yours, give those people the same courtesy that others were giving you. And please go through and the stories that you really like, go ahead and thumbs up them. Now, I'm looking for the number of likes on that submission. I'm also looking for the number of comments that you've made in total, right? So if you comment on this video, if you commented on the last video, now junk comments, I'm not even going to count them, right? If you just say, hi, I'm not going to count that, right? Now, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to count that towards your story score. Now, what I am going to count on your story score is look at Defake, and if you go through the comments, you'll see why he won. He was commenting constantly on other people's stories, not just his own. He responded to me, and we would go back and forth, kind of working out his story, asking questions. He would answer them. He would ask me questions, etc. And if you look at what he said to other people about their stories, and there were other people as well doing the same thing, commenting, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Maybe you could do this to tie the character in." So the more collaborative you get, the more you comment, and the more people like your comments. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at every comment that's related to a backstory, whether it's yours or someone else's, And the number of likes that gets, and I'm including a heart from me also as an extra like. So if you get a like and a heart from me, that's 2 points. If you get a like from another person, that's a point. So give other people likes. If you want to see their stories in the game, give them likes. If you like the feedback that people are giving you on your story and you appreciate their feedback, give them a like, because that's going to give them points towards their story submission, right? And so essentially we want to get the people who are the most helpful and the most creative on their stories, the combination of those two things, we want those people's stories to come to the top. And it doesn't make anybody else's stories any less amazing. It just means that I'm really trying to promote collaboration and activity in the comments, because the reason I'm doing that, guys, one of the reasons, I want you guys to flesh out your stories. I love that. The other reason is because the more collaboration you guys do in the comments, the more it helps the video actually get moved up higher in the search rankings, and that helps me, which means I can make you guys more content. I can spend more time making you higher quality content. So the more that you do that, the more you guys chat in the comments meaningfully about the actual video and about the stories that we're about to bring in, I mean, like I said, the video got 1,000% the results of my normal because of you guys. So keep it up, guys. You guys have been amazing. I can't wait. We're in our next episode, we're going to be looking for the next recruit. So get active on those stories, guys. Make sure you go interact with each other in the comments regarding storyline, regarding your character creation, etc. And we'll see where it goes, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what DeFake can do in the next episode. Potentially finding our next recruit, potentially bringing them into the story. I love reading these stories, guys, and I'm going to keep sharing them. Keep it up. You guys are amazing. Absolutely loving it. I can't wait to see what we've got in store for the next episode, man. This has been an absolute treasure for me to go through and read all of your stories. So keep it up. Absolutely keep it up, and keep communicating with each other, keep communicating with me, and we'll get you in here, man. I'm loving it. So anyways, guys, stay tuned, and thank you all so much for watching. I had a ton of fun with you dudes today. If you couldn't tell, I'm super hyped. And hey, if you guys had as much fun as I did, let me know by crushing that like button and staying active in the comments with each other and giving each other love. And thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. And as always, guys, I can't wait to see you again for some more gaming shenanigans and some awesome storytelling by you dudes. Love ya!